Hey, this is Doug.
I'm Greg.
And this is Mike.
And you're listening to the It's Funny, That Makes It Okay podcast. And we hope you enjoy the show. Here we go. Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the It's Funny, That Makes It Okay podcast. I am Doug.
I am Greg.
And this is Mike.
And we have got a pretty jam-packed show today. We've got a couple things off the top. I've got one. Greg's got one. We got a couple of Would You Rathers. We haven't done those, I don't think, in a little while.
No, it's been a bit.
Everything's blurring together. I can't remember what we've done and what we haven't done. Then we're going to talk some food. We got some interesting two or three food tidbits.
Looking at some
charcuterie
clean energy
board of food stories.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk some alternative energy.
Yeah, some
clean
energy.
Oh,
yeah.
clean. Well, I don't know. Is it clean?
Well,
we will find out.
Yeah.
We'll discuss. So, I don't know. You got something you want to start off? Or?
It's silly, but I was.
Oh, it's not like our regular hard-hitting things that we talk about.
Like last week, I played down what I was talking about.
Do you want me to go first, or did you want?
No,
I don't
ahead.
care.
No,
I don't know
ahead.
what you have. Mine's going to be real quick. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a Hilton app. We're going to be doing some traveling, so I got on the app, and looked, and I get Hilton points. So I was trying to find some place, can I get a discount?
I'll give you three
discounts.
3 points.
Oh, 3 points.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Towards your stay.
Yeah. Well, and then our listeners out there, they can get the It's Funny app, and you accrue points for listening to. And then you can one day be able to cash those in at the It's Funny store for all kinds of little baubles and trinkets.
Once we build that, you'll be able to do that. We could put the pickle in there, the singing pickle.
We could. We could. So anyway, I've got the Hilton app, found a place to stay on our travels, and didn't think much of it. Now, yesterday, so this was a couple weeks ago, I made my reservations. Yesterday, all of a sudden, I noticed I had a notification at the top of my phone. I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. So I clicked on it, and it was a notification from the Hilton app. It says, hey, do you want to look at a room up, or do you want to look at an upgrade for your room for your upcoming trip? And I thought, sure, why not? I'll see what it is. So I clicked on it, and it took me to the Hilton app, opened it up, and it said, sorry, there are no upgrades available at this time. Like, well, you asked me. It's not like I came and looked for an upgrade. It's like, hey, Greg, would you like to share part of my Reese's holiday treat?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't have one. Like, what? Why are you asking me this?
What a letdown.
It ticked me off. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why did that even pop up in the notification? Hey, you want some upgrades? Too bad. We don't have any. Not for you. So that was it.
Well,
that was my one gripe.
Nice tease.
Yes.
Yeah. On that note, this is not my thing, but I was going to check my Comcast email. We have Comcast for our cable provider, and I was going to check my email, and first thing that popped up when I logged in was my account, and I noticed my bill had gone up $40 this month. And I'm like, what's going on? Comcast used to do this stuff, and it would drive me crazy. They've been pretty good, though, for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, so I opened a chat with the person there at Comcast. I'm not sure who or where they were located, but and they said, well, would you like me? She goes, I understand your surprise when you saw that increase. And she goes, would you like me to look into this and see what's the cause? And I'm like, yes. So I say she, but actually I don't know. I don't know if it's a he or she. So anyways, whoever it was,
it's probably a robot.
Yeah, AI. They went and looked, came back and said, well, your contract was for 2 years. That ended in February, and it went back to regular pricing. That's why it went up. And I said, well, is there anything you can do? And so she goes, let me ask you a couple questions. And so they go, do you watch sports channels? And I'm like, nope. And then she's like, do you have kids channels? And I'm like, nope. I said, here's the thing we watch. I did the basic local network channels, the local TV channels, and Food Network and HGTV. That's pretty much it in the cable because we stream everything else. So she goes, okay, I'll go back and I'll go check. And she comes back and it's like, are all these channels okay? And I look through the list and it's like, it's basically what we got now. Okay, well, I'll sign you up for that. It'll be $107 a month, which is $2 more than I was paying before. It's like, so I got the same package basically, But I had to go through all this to get it back down to $2 more than I was paying before.
Because they're assuming that most people aren't going to pay any attention. And they may not. A lot of people, I don't even think, look at the bill. It just automatically comes out of a credit card. And like, well, whatever it is.
Yeah, which mine does. It's all, I've got it on auto pay, but I happen to check, thank goodness. So anyways, speaking of TV, we have a lot of channels now like Pluto and Tubi and all these odd ones that play all these old shows. Mm-hmm. And I came home.
I think those are actually streaming apps, though, too.
Yeah, they are.
Channel. I'm just saying for people out there, if you're looking for some free streaming, you can get Pluto or Tubi, T-U-B-I.
Tubi or Tubby?
Yeah, Tubi.
For me, it's Tubby probably. It's insulting.
Also, IMDb.
It's all fat people on the.
There's an IMDb app you can get, and there's hundreds of shows for free.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt
you. I came home Saturday, and I had a little bit of time to kill. I was waiting on Lori to come home from work. So I sat down, I flipped on the TV, and what was on Pluto was Hawaii Five-0, the original one.
Yeah,
with Jack Lord.
Plenty of time.
Which, interestingly, Jack Lord is not his real name. His name is like James Ryan Philip Thomas or something like that. And he changed it to Jack Lord because he was on a boat in World War II that got torpedoed. And he ended up on a lifeboat for like, I forgot, it was like 20 hours or something like that. He's on this or it was days. I don't remember, but he was on there and he was afraid and stuff. And he said he's going to change his life. And he changed his name to Jack Lord at that point. But very interesting dude, kind of Renaissance man. But anyways, as I was watching Hawaii Five-0, I noticed a couple things. One is 2 episodes in a row had these, little groups of bad guys, which all of them, you always got the bad guy that's doing some sort of thing. Well, in this group, there was one guy that was in both episodes. So he was a bad guy in 2 different episodes in 2 different groups. But in both of them, he was sweating a lot. So he must be a sweater. But
that's how you knew he's a bad guy. In the old show, the bad guy would always be sweating.
Yeah, they had him on the lie detector in one show, so he was sweating really bad. But it was odd that 2 in a row we got one of the same bad guys. Well, then another one, this guy's on a pier like thing, a dock, and McGarrett shoots him, and he falls into the water. And these people come running up, and McGarrett walks over and looks. He's in the water. They cut away from McGarrett. The very next scene, they show the guy is laying on the pier that was in the water. Nobody's wet. How did they get him out of the water? It's like, so the
Magic.
guy, it's like 1 second he's dead in the water, literally. And the next second, no one's wet.
We don't care about continuity back then.
Yeah. That made me think, will like my kids, will they be watching shows from my era now? And will they seem like super old shows, and will they have these weird continuity things? And
I think some of them do, because I've heard people even say, like with Friends, like they said Friends is, some people said, oh, it's really dated. They went back, tried to watch it, and like, I can't watch it. It's really dated. I'm just saying that's what people say, because they're like, a lot of 90s like clothing, especially, and references.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just funny to see, blatant continuity errors like that. Sometimes if somebody points them out to me, I see them, but this was like, hold it, he was just in the water. Nobody's hair is dripping. He's on the pier now. How did he get out of the water?
Was he wet?
He was dead. I'm not sure.
He didn't look wet.
You can't be both.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he looked wet.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he did look wet.
So he climbed out.
Yeah, yeah.
He was just hurt. He was wounded.
Yeah.
He climbed out. Oh, then he died.
He was a real smarmy character. He was one that was
a bad guy.
He was finding widowed, women who, husbands had passed away, and they had money, and then he was bringing them out on his boat, and he would change the name of his boat so nobody would, he'd put little placards over the, whatever, if it was SS Minnow or what, he would put placards over it, and, McGarrett, of course, is on the job, finding him out, so.
I mean, not talking about the continuity issues, but I like watching old shows that are a little dated, only because you can look back and you can look like, what were they wearing? What was the attitude of things? What was in pop culture at the time? How did people feel about certain issues? You got to get a sense of what was life like in 1972 or 1986 or 1997 or whatever time it is. You'll just
yeah. Well, for one thing, everyone was smoking. There's a lot of smoking going on.
Yes, there was.
You know, and as a matter of fact, they took this female cop and set her up to go they sent her to San Francisco to board a cruise ship, which is where that guy was picking up his victims. And he picked her up then, and she's female cop.
Of course he did.
But
Because
it was
all the women on there, he's going to pick the female cop.
which he did. Yeah. Yeah. So, you know,
She was going as like a widow.
yeah, her husband had died. I think he had died in the mountains in a snow accident or something
That was
like
her story.
that. Yeah.
Their background.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I need to
Checking
pick up.
on our gold mine. Very wealthy.
Well, she had a big insurance policy.
Oh.
So she was fine. Well, and then he had this, so the whole thing to lure her out to the, you know, where he was going to kill her was he's been working on buying this piece of land by the end of the cruise from San Francisco to Hawaii, he was asking her to marry him, you know, and he goes, I've got this piece of land, but it's tied up in the guy who was developing it, it's tied up in his estate now, and I need money to buy it out. And she's like, well, I have money. And he's like, no, I don't want to use your money. And of course, you know, he does. Yeah. That's what he's after. And he's got this other gal that's like helping him. She's like the other person who is in on the ploy to get the money from the gal. And then they're going to kill her. He usually does it with spiked champagne. Like he's got something in the champagne.
Ooh, slipped her a Mickey.
They're celebrating their pending nuptials and, you know, the buying of the land, and they die. Then he puts them in a drum that's got the ends drilled out, throws them in the ocean, and
that's it.
There they go.
The end of it.
So, anyways, but
nice. Before we started recording, we were talking about TV shows, and we talked about The Love Boat a little bit. The Love Boat, it only took a 5-day cruise to fall in love and marry somebody. They become complete strangers when you first get on the boat. By the time they're pulling back into port, you're getting married.
Well, there's always the rail. They always wind up at the rail at night.
Oh, yeah.
You know, looking out over the ocean.
Well, they fall in love first. Then there's usually a fight where they split, and then they get back together all within the time, and they're going to get married.
Yeah.
Like, wow, you guys had a lot going on this trip.
And meanwhile, some other lunacy is happening, some crime or something else is happening on the boat.
Another thing on some of the old love boats, this is timely references here. On some of the old love boats, what they would do, more so on some of the first ones, because I've watched on Pluto as well, they'll bring people in, and they had like two women that came in, and they didn't know each other. One woman would come in first, and they'd say, oh, you're in cabin 12B, and and another woman would come in and it's like, oh, here, let me show you their cabin. And they took her to the same cabin and opened the door and was like, here, she'll be your room. I was like, did they really cruise like that back then? You got a room, then you're going to have a strange roommate that just pops up for the next 5 to 7 days? I'm not cruising. I'm not going to go on a cruise and like, oh, here.
Doug,
Mike, here's your roommate. I'm Doug. I like to sleep in the nude. Like, oh, jeez. Can we switch? What is going on? I've got a CPAP machine.
Yeah.
And I don't always, but sometimes I have night terrors and scream. Like, oh, good. And I sleepwalk. Shouldn't you put some pajamas on? Oh, it's encumbering. You sleepwalk and you sleep naked. Okay. I need a new room. I will sleep on the deck. I'm going to the Lido deck.
Anyways, that's all I had. It's interesting to watch those old shows. I may report back after I catch some plot lines.
We've done that
stuff
before too, about like the old Bionic Woman.
Yeah,
and Bionic Man. So those are some good ones. I like those.
Oh yeah. So, Mike, what would be some old shows that you are familiar with?
What do you consider an old television show, I guess?
If you were going to watch classic TV for you, can you think of anything?
That's a good question.
Well, while you're thinking, I'll throw out a couple. If you said classic TV to me, classic television for me would be like Barney Miller or Beretta, All in the Family. I'm thinking back like when I was a kid. Bewitched. I mean, Andy Griffith, although that was it was over by the time I was
That was a
born.
classic.
Yeah. So that was a little older than, but I mean, it would be like on it. When I get home from
some
school,
of those others might have been.
On.
When were you born?
71.
Yeah, some of those others might have been over.
Might have been over already as well.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it as a kid because it would be on after school.
Yeah.
So after school, it would be Andy Griffith, Bewitched.
Yeah.
I Dream of Jeannie, Hogan's Heroes. Those were all playing after school. So
Yeah.
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, my dad really liked Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, my dad
I think
loved
that's
Hawaii
why I
5-0.
kind of
Yeah.
tuned into it and was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
What my dad didn't like is he would fall asleep a lot of times during the news, and Hawaii Five-0 would come on after the news sometimes, and the news would go off and it'd be kind of quiet, and Hawaii Five-0's music would ba 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 ba. He's like, why did they do that? Turn the TV down. It was really loud. So
Yeah. I forget. It was Hawaii Five-0 was on for like, I think it was on like 68 to 80.
yeah, it might have been.
I was amazed how long that show was on. Well, and then it got rebooted in 2010 to that newer one.
Yeah. And other classic shows. I'd say like the A-Team, Dukes of Hazzard, Magnum P.I.,
Yeah.
Simon and Simon. I mean, these are all Cheers.
Lori said their family watched Mannix,
Mannix. See, we didn't watch a lot of Mannix.
which was kind of like Hawaii Five-0, really.
Columbo. My dad loved Columbo.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
son loves Columbo, which surprised me.
Yeah.
I never knew that. He just bought the complete series and was thrilled to death that he found it. With 24 bonus episodes even, so like a whole nother season.
Bloopers.
I don't know.
So did you find anything?
Yeah, I mean, like, shows that were either really popular at the time or, like, that my parents would watch, like Seinfeld, Friends, Everybody Loves Raymond, King of Queens.
Oh, yeah.
Full House. Were all, like, I guess what I would probably consider the classics.
Classics, yeah.
I mean, and Home Improvement.
Oh, Home
you know.
Improvement. Yeah.
Oh,
All
yeah.
those-
Love the Home Improvement.
Yeah, those
yeah.
sitcom
Improvement
type
was
things.
Really, that was appointment television. It was huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a very popular show.
Yep. Very funny.
All right.
All right.
Are
Well, I
moving
didn't mean to get off on a whole TV
that's all
thing, but
Moving on. Well,
right.
let's do, like I said, we got one or two would you rathers here. One is way worse than the other. They're both kind of a pain, but I'll do the worst one first. So
Great.
Here we go. Would you rather drink all the half-empty drinks or smoke all the cigarette butts the day after a big, crazy party? So it's a giant party. You're invited. Not your party. You don't know anybody. You're just going to show up with a friend. The next day, you got to either drink all the half-empty drinks that are left or find all the cigarette butts and smoke what's left of those.
This is going to be a disgusting podcast. Just all around.
This is it. The food one is awful.
yuck.
The last segment shouldn't be disgusting. I
No,
don't think.
that one-
Well, I don't know. It could go. It could break bad.
I can't see how it would, but
Do you
never
guys
know.
have any thoughts on that? I have a thought. I know where I'm going.
I know where I know exactly where I'm going.
You got. Go ahead, Greg.
I
I'll let you go
am not doing the cigarettes, so it's going to have to be the drinks.
first. Yeah.
I know there's probably lipstick on some of them. There's probably
Well, whatever's on the drinks
backwash.
is going to be on the cigarettes.
I know, but it's cigarette butts. I'm
I'm not defending cigarettes. I'm just saying.
No, I just can't. No,
See, I know exactly where I'm
it's
going to.
It's got to be the drinks.
So.
Yeah,
All right.
there's really not much question to it. I don't know.
See, I had the same thought. I went the other way. I went and I hate smoke. I have horrible sinus problems, but I'm like, I cannot drink all those other drinks. There could be food chunks. Who knows what's left in those drinks? And you're going to have to down it. You got to down that. I don't know what's in there. I figure the cigarette butts, maybe the fire will burn any germs that's left to go in. I can smoke and cough my way through it. It seems less disgusting to me.
You never
than
know what some of
drinking.
those people have done before they stuck that cigarette in their mouth.
No, but they had their tongue in your glass too.
Regardless, they're both going to be bad.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
So I'm the type.
So I went with the smoke. I'm gonna be the Marlboro man and just fire up the heater, man.
A few episodes from now, dog will be dogging.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that is
Put one behind my ear. I'll go for the cool look.
Okay, I'm actually siding with Greg. I'm going to take the drinks because I don't think I would actually be able to make it through smoking even a cigarette butt. I mean, my asthma is just so. Even just being around cigarette smoke just makes me feel disgusted anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel disgusted having to drink whatever's left over in the cups.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm going to be a
But,
disaster. It's going to be horrible. But
No,
I'm gonna have to do the drink probably.
It brings to mind Caddyshack, though. Some of those drinks may have the cigarette butts in them.
yes, they may. That'll be one less for me.
So
you know
wait.
what? A cigarette won't have a drink in it.
What does that mean? We would drink the liquid, and then Doug is gonna have to smoke.
Doug will have to smoke
I
them.
can't smoke. It's
Smoke
too
it?
wet. You're
Oh,
gonna
you'll have
chug-
to- you'll have
you
to
gotta
dry
chug
'em out.
whatever's in that glass is your
Well, if
responsibility.
you get to them before us, you got to smoke them.
I'm not going to get to them. I guarantee it.
You're at
I
the
guarantee
you're
it.
there before we
Nope.
are. We're so hammered after.
I'm only have to take the things out of
Well,
the
I'm already
ashtrays.
hammered.
we're so
I'm just going in pre-hammered.
Well, I'd have to get hammered. I'd have to do a lot of drinking
we're
before
so
I had
hammered
this
up
happen.
from the drinks. We can't make it around to all of them. And
I'll flip over my Zippo. Suck them things down. But there we go.
blah.
All right. Well, there we go. All right. The next one. Would you rather move in and have to live with your elderly parents or some hard partying strangers for roommates? So you got to move it. Something happened. Your life fell apart, Mike, and you've either got two choices. Your parents, your elderly parents now, come live with us, Mikey. Come on in. Or, dude, come on. And they're just hard partying, crazy all the time.
Do you want me to go first?
I don't care,
Go ahead.
Greg. Same with you. I don't know on this one. I haven't made up my mind yet.
I'm gonna take my parents probably any day of the week. I would take that easily over strangers. Like they wouldn't even probably have to be hard partying strangers. I would probably
Regular
just take my parents
strangers.
over strangers. So.
Your
I'm hearing
elderly
Mike's
parents.
ready to move back home.
Now remember,
Well, I'm
elderly.
not there yet.
Remember-
But if I had to pick,
Elderly.
Elderly parents. They've
So
turned,
they're gonna have all of
They've
this
turned
thing-
elderly.
well, I mean,
So they're going to be like, where are you going, Mike? Why are you out so late? Who was that on the phone? No, we're
okay.
assuming
I'm
you're
not
single. We're assuming
Okay.
that we're all single. We're not married at this point.
We don't like these pancakes.
okay, well that won't happen.
Your pancakes. You don't make them the right way. I told you, Mike, you're supposed to stir in a clockwise. You're doing counterclockwise.
Your
That's-
brother has learned to make these, and he does so much better.
Your brother didn't have to move back home. Why don't you have a girlfriend anymore? Are you a confirmed bastard? Mom, stop it! I'm going out of my room.
Where are the party guys at?
Let me know when the pancakes are done.
Okay, well there goes that segment.
No, I just...
All right, you go.
I'd say parents as well. For the same...
After they all just sat there and made fun of me
I didn't
for
say
like
make fun of
3
me.
minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go with Mike's choice. Cool.
I'm making fun of it too because that's the same thing. Yeah, I'll have to, help my mom move 8,000 things into the basement that she keeps finding to pick up. And love you, Mom, but it's true. Try not to trip over one of the 800 throw rugs she's bought and thrown down all over the condo.
So wait, we are single in this scenario?
Yeah, because I don't think.
Yeah,
we-
that doesn't change my
That doesn't matter.
that doesn't change my answer.
All right, I'll be different and go parents. I wanted to fool him for a second there, give him hope that somebody would be different, but no, I'm going parents too.
I can deal with the annoying older person that's nagging me all the time, other than the partying. Because I figured the parents are probably more quiet, so hopefully I can get some sleep, and maybe they'll do my laundry,
Although
fold up my clothes. The TV will be super loud.
I might want to change this. Think about that. Okay, my mom passed away last year, so rest in peace. But my mom.
Oh yeah,
It could be 3 a.m.
it could.
and she would be up with the TV.
Or playing the piano. Damn it, it's real loud.
Because my mom and stepdad had no sleep pattern whatsoever.
No, they did not. They would stay up late. They'd sleep late.
Mom wouldn't as much, though. She would be up. Chuck would be asleep till 3 in the afternoon. Mom would be more like 8 or 9, I think.
Well, but she napped a lot. She said she did get up and out of bed, and then she'd sleep on her
Nap,
chair,
yeah.
in her chair,
And I
she
would
said,
have,
well, I got up at 7. It's like, we walked in and you were sound asleep.
not to mention, I would have 24/7 of Steve Harvey Family Feud.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
Because you don't dare change it.
Oh, no.
And I would have a slobbering dog jumping all over me.
Yeah.
So maybe the roommates
You would.
sound better.
And sometimes elderly parents, they tell a story that just, it never ends. It just keeps meandering around. You remember, I saw your cousin and she got married to Jack. Now, Jack worked at the foundry. Your father worked at a foundry when he was, oh God. Back then, they called it the rock quarry, but now it's a foundry. It's not a foundry anymore. They filled it in and it's a subdivision. Like, what are we talking about?
All right, I changed my vote. I'm going to the dudes.
Party house.
The bros. I'm going to hang with the bros.
Yeah. It could, if you got the bros, man. I laughed too hard. If you got the bros though, they're going to be in your stuff. Your stuff's going to be missing. They're just going to come in and take things. Things are going to get broken.
See,
the house is going to be a disgusting mess because they're not going to clean it.
I did that in college. I had that experience. I'm used to living and dealing with my parents, stuff.
Now you have to deal with doilies. Make sure you have. Mike, why'd you set the glass down without a coaster? Sorry, Mom. Sorry.
I'm used to that. I grew up with that. So, I
Mike, can you help me with my depends?
That could come.
Okay, you know what? I think I'd just rather do that, and then rather than deal with the bros and whatever other.
Well, the bro can just come in while you're sleeping. Well, I'm going to take a dump in Mike's drawers.
All right,
Exactly.
I got a tougher one for you, Mike. I need you to take me to the hospital.
I mean, I
know how much you hate hospitals.
I do hate hospitals and nursing homes.
Well, they could wind up there too.
I mean, if they're the elderly
and then you
parents,
still got to live with them.
What?
Did you say maybe they won't live that long?
No, I said if they're the elderly parents, maybe I won't have to live like in that scenario that long. If they're going to the nursing home,
what's going to happen to them?
Well, Greg said they're getting shipped off to a nursing home.
But you got to go with them.
What?
Mike's telling his parents, I'm going to stick with my parents because they're going to die pretty soon.
No, that's not what I was saying. That's not what I was saying.
All right.
Maybe you can. Mom, you ever think about going on a cruise? I watched Hawaii 5-0 the other night. Gave me some ideas.
There's a Love Boat show on.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find a nice man.
Oh. All right.
That's
Two
it.
parents, one bros.
You switched to bros?
I switched to bros. You guys talked me out of it.
I'm sticking with, again, with everything. We're making fun, but yeah, I can't. I'm with Mike on that.
Greg took the bro scenario, and then the bros ended up having to live with the elderly parents.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go.
That's my best retort. That's all I got. After 5 minutes of Mike catching it there.
I was making fun of you, but making fun of me too, because I was going the same direction.
Yeah.
So
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really heard him making fun of himself.
Yeah. That's how it totally came across.
Fire away. I like it. Let's go. So anyway, let's move on to food.
All right.
Not that this will get any better, but I'm going to send you guys some pictures.
So all of you out there listening, just hang on. In a few minutes, you're going to get a notification from Mike.
And you'll get pictures.
They'll probably be put on social media. If you follow the podcast on social media, Doug will probably share them out there.
I will try.
So, being that the weather's getting nicer, been looking up like camping gear and planning out some camping trips for the year, and been getting all sorts of ads from outdoor companies. So one of the outdoor companies that I've bought stuff in the past they're called CRKT, Columbia River Knife and Tool. So I'm on Instagram the other day, and I get an ad from a CRKT Life or whatever it's called. So I think it's part of that brand or some offshoot of that brand.
Oh, it's a brand.
Yes, it is. So I clicked on it, And what I thought was going to be something related to Columbia River and knife and tool
You
is
jumped
actually
right over to that product, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
Well, you could take these camping with you.
oh you could. It's actually a cricket nutrition program thing.
Yeah, it says cricket bites.
So it's
Gross. This is disgusting.
CRKT, but it's not Columbia River knife and tool. It's crickets. So
I eat crickets. That's what it
yeah. And after looking at, so I sent some screenshots out, and we'll probably share them out there. But there's a few it just kind of makes my stomach sick looking at them. Honestly, there's a few products. There's a cricket meal replacement bar, and it's peanut butter flavored.
Yeah, that's not helping it.
Looking at
Reese's crickets.
I
seriously,
couldn't do that.
No.
even talking about this is seriously.
See, this
makes my
is something
stomach
somebody
hurt.
bought and wanted us to try. It's like I don't
I
think I could
can't.
do it. I don't think I could do a taste test.
I
on
can't.
this.
So they got the bar, and the
Mike's
bar.
got some ordered.
No. Mm-mm. The bar looks like I don't even know how to describe that. Like
It's like quinoa almost, like a
yeah.
bar of
The
quinoa.
bar? Yeah, or an oatmeal bar of some sort.
yeah,
It's awful small little pebbles.
even more disgusting to me than that than
Like
the
a
bar.
no bake bar.
Yeah. Ew. Even more disgusting to me is the cluster granola,
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
also peanut
Is it
butter
on
flavored
yogurt or something. Or?
Yeah, somebody in the
Oh.
picture, somebody put that on Greek yogurt,
Kroger? Cricket and yogurt.
and it's like if you
Strike
zoom
two.
in, you can kind of see like the cricket itself
Legs
in
sticking
the
out.
clusters. Yeah, it's not pretty.
That's disgusting.
And then they've got the I don't know what you call them. It's like the bite. It's not quite a bar. It looks different than the bar, but it's like a brittle almost. It kind of looks like.
Kinda, yeah.
I don't know how to describe that.
2 meal bars, it says.
It's just all of these products look just like mud.
Hey, they're
mixed
low
with-
carb and keto friendly.
Oh,
Hey, that's a meal replacement bar. You could get rid of a whole meal by eating this.
exactly. So that's kind of where I was going. They even have like a powder that you can put
Yep.
in your drinks.
Ooh, powdered crickets.
So after interacting with some of like the posts, that's what they're after. I mean, they're trying to get you to get your protein right from the crickets. So by using all these meal replacement programs, so you can get the granola crusters, you can get the bars, you can get the powder. And I immediately thought of like the cicadas. We had some stories on some cicada meals
Yeah.
that were
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
popular.
Yep.
So that's kind of some flashbacks to that. And then after just exploring these a little bit, you go to the Instagram page. Like if you look at the posts, there's a bunch of people outside walking around.
Yeah.
You know what you don't see on this page
Crickets.
anywhere? Oh, they're there.
Oh.
The products are there, but what you don't see is any of these people
Throwing up? Oh.
eating any of the crickets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not
photos.
Exactly, they are. Not a single person in any of these posts is actually eating the product or interacting with the product. You don't see a person and the product in the same post.
Well, there's a couple things too I found too that on the powder picture underneath there it gives you a little description. It says,
Yep.
Today more than 95% of all chronic disease is caused by food choice. Toxic food ingredients, nutritional deficiency. Eat your cricket.
Yeah, eat your crickets.
But it doesn't say that the crickets are. It's just like, yeah, here's some crickets for you.
That's how they end all their posts is with an eat your
Yeah,
crickets.
and then
It's
the
kind of like
one,
eat more chicken.
the one where it has the rack of hundreds of them on a rack that they're
Yeah.
cooking in an oven.
yeah.
Reasons why crickets are the next generation of farming. There is the speed at which crickets can grow, reach maturity in days, not months or years like livestock. They can produce thousands of offspring. Crickets are 12 to 25 times more efficient at converting their food into protein than other livestock. So eat your crickets. So there you go. It's like they have a
disgusting.
cricket ranch. They're a big cricket roundup. Yeah,
Boy,
yeah.
the little cricket kill floor would be weird.
Stomping, just boots.
Slitting their throat up so the blood runs out.
That's terrible.
It's like, yeah,
You hang them upside down, little
Yeah.
bitty hooks.
you wouldn't want to squish them because, you got to preserve that for the granola crusters.
Yeah.
You got to have the full abdomen.
Well, I like a
in
nice
there.
cricket ribeye.
Exactly.
You got to cut that section out.
A crick eye. Crib eye.
Yeah, in all of these posts,
Everybody's
see
conscience
people-
is going to be dead pretty soon. No Jiminy Cricket.
Oh,
No.
what a loss.
He'd pass out.
Yeah, you either get the bag on a mountain or a person doing some other activity other than eating the cricket
weightlifting.
product. Yeah. Just wanted to point that out there. That
Nice.
Even in their own posts advocating for eating crickets, they're not actually eating crickets.
I think it'd be good for a video taste test.
A picture. You should dress up and have put on a cowboy hat, some chaps. Like, I'm a cricket rancher. Been rounding up crickets since I was knee high to a cricket.
Well, you gotta wear the cricket outfit then.
I'll be the mascot.
You gotta make that
Gosh.
chirping noise.
You got a little lasso. You're the cricket rodeo.
Pretty soon, Peter
Those
will
little
be,
those crickets doing the barrel race on. It's not easy. Oh my gosh! All right.
So there's some more bug food
Ugh.
that's out there with the Cicada
That's just
Tacos.
disgusting.
Blech.
Well, is that all you had? No,
Yeah, that's
okay.
about it.
Well, staying in the food vein, but not quite as disgusting. But I found this article. Disney has a new food item that they just put out. And
And it looks delicious.
it is not good. I could not. I don't think I would eat this. I don't think I would even try it. It sounds horrible.
Yeah, no, not on purpose anyway.
It says there's a couple of dishes that are causing quite the stir amongst Disneyland resort foodies. One of these dishes is the peanut butter and jelly macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which can be found at the Nuts About Cheese food booth. Disney describes the dish as peanut butter and jelly
On mac
peanut
and
butter
cheese?
and jelly mac with brown sugar streusel and strawberry crackle.
And crickets on top.
It says the crackle is actually strawberry pop rocks. It sounds terrible. Said the dish immediately got people talking. The combination of peanut butter and jelly with mac and cheese was hard flavor profile to comprehend. So it's an interesting dish being available. There's no way I couldn't try it. I'm glad I did so I can save you from spending the money. They said this person, not a fan. They said it is incredibly creamy. Well, it's macaroni and cheese, so I would hope so. Says when it comes to mac and cheese at Disney food festivals, it can be really hit or miss. Sometimes the dish is rich and creamy. Sometimes it is drier and seems almost oil-based.
In the picture they've got, I don't really see so much the peanut butter, I don't think. So is it blended in with
I wonder if it's
the cheese?
Yeah, I think it is.
So you got a creamy peanut buttery cheese flavor.
Yeah, the reviewer says, unfortunately, that was the only positive thing they could say about the dish is that it was creamy. It says, when I really think about it, the dish was not spit out your napkin bad. It just wasn't good. Now, I love a good salty, sweet combination, but this did just not fit the bill. I love macaroni and cheese. I love peanut butter and jelly. You should not put these two together. Says the jam is incredibly sweet, and the pop rocks and brown sugar on top just add another level of sweetness that is not needed. So what, did Disney look at their average customer and think, these people just aren't fat enough. Can we fatten them up even more before? You know what?
They
Maybe
probably
we can get
did.
them so fat they can't get back out the gate and they have to stay here longer and buy more Disney tchotchkes and stuff that we can sell them.
We're going to have to do something about the rides, though.
Well, yeah. Reinforce all the rides.
Yeah, make them wider.
You have to be this tall and not this wide. They put up you can't be wider than this gate.
Yeah.
If you can fit through the gate, you can ride the ride.
Yeah.
If you can't, well.
That's why they've gone
Keep
to some of
walking,
those
Fanny.
roller coasters that have the super wide seats that like 8 people across fit on.
It's really 2 now. That's where we're at as America.
It's the same width.
Yeah. It's the roller coaster XL. Oh, goody.
Ooh.
The plus size.
I think this is another new flavor for Reese's. Mac and cheese. Peanut butter.
I'm singing
Little
with just
chocolate
the
shell.
peanut butter and chocolate. But yeah, that was really disgusting. I don't think there's any way. And then, like they said, it's already bad enough. You got peanut butter and jelly in there. Who decides? Let's put some brown sugar cinnamon streusel on top.
And Pop Rocks.
Rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Were they saying, what do our 3-year-old fans want to eat? Because that's about the only person I can think of who would be eating this.
That was my thought exactly, because you think about it like a kid. It's like they're going to eat mac and cheese and they're going to eat PB&J. So
yeah.
let's just mash it all together.
And some little kids, their big thing is let's eat something really disgusting that adults hate. They do. I've known kids that, I love that.
Yeah, they do that.
Let's make a suicide drink and mix every single drink and drink it and tell you, as they're drinking, oh, it's delicious. Like, there's no way. There's no way that's delicious. But like, oh no, it is.
Oh no, it's not.
But I don't know. Did you have anything before I move on here? So
no.
All right. Well, when I was looking up that story, another one popped up, and I thought, I gotta read this one too. And this one had 25 of the most unappealing foods found at amusement parks. Now, I'm not going to hit all 25, but I've wrote down some of the more interesting or disgusting, whatever you want to call it, disturbing, maybe.
Some of these are pretty gross.
Yeah. So the first one, and for them, on their list, they had it as number 24. This would have been like my number one.
This is one of the worst, I think.
Caviar-covered Twinkies. So, this is at Orange County Fair. So they sell caviar-covered Twinkies. They take a Twinkie, and then they put caviar in it. It costs $125. Who is going to a fair? And I want I complain that the funnel cakes are $5. Like, who's dropping $1.25 on caviar Twinkies? And why are you putting? I've never had caviar.
No, I haven't either.
I don't know that I would probably try it if somebody had some really good caviar. The thought of it makes me kind of bleh, just fish eggs. But
eggs.
I've heard it's like creamy and salty and just kind of that taste, and they put it on a cracker. If you are going to eat caviar, or if you like caviar, why would you want to ruin it with a Twinkie? And if you like Twinkies, why would you want to ruin it with caviar? They just do not go together. And typically when people eat caviar, they want something that's kind of thin and crispy.
Yeah, a little
salty,
cracker. Yeah, a little
not
cracker.
a giant sponge cake filled with this artificial cream. At least I've never had it, but in my world, that kind of seems like it is.
I wonder how much rides are at a fair that has $125 snacks.
Yeah, I don't know, but that seemed a little ridiculous to me. The next one was from Arizona. This sounds disgusting, too. Fried scorpions.
Yeah.
They take them, they put a stick through them, they drop them in a batter like you would a corn dog and fry them up. People say, oh, they're delicacy. They're delicious. So it says, this is completely different than your typical hot dog or French fry. Yeah, of course it is. It's a scorpion. I'm not eating. I put that right in there with your crickets.
I was going to say
Let's get a side of crickets with it.
Yeah, I was going to say they're the appetizer for the scorpion.
Maybe you use that as the batter, the meal, like a cornmeal. You use the cricket meal, fry up some good old scorpions.
Yeah, that's gross.
The next one they had on here was deep fried margarita. I thought that is really odd.
I don't know how you fry a liquid.
Well, I didn't either, but what it is they take funnel cake batter and they pour in margarita mix. Like, okay, well, it's flavored funnel cake batter. Then they fry that up. But then I thought what was weird is then they take out the fried balls of dough and they drop them back into another margarita batter and they soak them so they're going to be wet and soggy.
It looks like they added bacon.
I don't know.
At the picture, at least, it does.
Oh, here it just says on the description, it says, and then they put salt around the rim. But that might be, you might very well be true.
Yeah, just
smoky
at least in the
margarita.
picture.
Yeah, it does say smoky bacon margarita. There's a bunch of fried ones, so I kind of skipped through some. But the deep fried spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah,
that just
on a stick.
That just looked disgusting to me. This is at the Minnesota State Fair. But what they did is they found a way is to take the meatballs and the spaghetti noodles, and they got them in a ball somehow. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But then they coated them, fried them up, put them on a stick, and then they serve them with like a marinara sauce. It might be kind of taste like fried ravioli, I'm thinking, but I think the spaghetti noodles is what's weird to me.
Yeah.
Biting in, you got all them noodles in there. I don't know.
I mean, so far of the ones you've mentioned, This is one I would potentially
Yeah,
try.
out of what I've mentioned, I
far,
would try
yeah,
that.
I would try it.
The next one, and I've heard this one before too.
Yeah.
But fried butter, and I've never understood this at all. Because butter is just gross. I mean, I cook with butter. I like butter in things, but as far as just taking a big bite of butter, that makes me kind of sick just thinking about it. Like, ugh.
Yeah,
But it says, you can pay money. It says you can pay money to eat a deep fried stick of butter. They take the butter, put a stick in it, dip it in batter, and then drop it in and fry it up. What's inside the batter at that point?
butter.
Just melt. So what? What's the point of eating? You're eating a stick of butter with some batter.
You know, the knockoff is I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah.
It's fried.
That's good.
We only use margarine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this one, chocolate covered corn dog. I am not a fan of corn dogs.
I
anyway.
like corn dogs.
I do not
but
care
I
you're
for
not.
would actually probably try this one if I'm being totally honest.
No, I cannot.
I would try it.
Now you skipped the one above that, the fried Snickers.
Yeah.
That one's been used. I've actually had that one before.
It's a
And I had a
Snickers
fried
and they fry
Reese's
it
as
up.
well. Those actually don't taste too bad. I mean, they'll kill you. You wouldn't want to eat much of them, but yeah, I've had those. Those are pretty good. I'm sorry. So go ahead.
This is another Orange County fair. That says
What's
here.
going on at the Orange County Fair?
know.
Right?
Says they revamped this local snack by dipping it in chocolate and adding sprinkles because
Sprinkles.
chocolate isn't enough.
Would you put ketchup on that?
No.
I wouldn't eat a corn dog, but
See, I like corn dogs.
ugh,
You
I
like
do
corn
not.
dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason I would actually try this. But
Yeah, they put in there ketchup and ketchup and mustard, the only sauces that should go on a corn dog.
I would probably taste this as well.
I don't
I would
know
not.
if I'd like it, but I would try it.
Yeah.
Now the next one that I wrote down, and I don't like this food anyway, and so this didn't add anything to it. Kool-Aid Pickles. This is disgusting. I have seen these before. I know people that
I've never
got
seen
a cousin.
those. They
Her
look
son
gross.
loves pickle flavored everything. They get him all this stuff. And it says here, pickles are extremely polarizing. Some people live for them and eat them with literally anything, while others can't even. See, I wish I liked pickles. They look good, especially in the summertime. You get a good pickle. I've never liked them. I cannot.
I love
just can't eat
pickles.
them. Ugh.
I like dill pickles. Like, I don't like sweet pickles,
Well,
but
it says now you can get these pickles. They've been marinated in Kool-Aid in North Carolina. They've coined the term Koolickles for the sweet and sour food. While this sounds absolutely strange to most of us, it's a traditional Southern dish that you'll find in nearly any amusement park or fair in the South. Now,
no,
this
those
is the
don't sound good.
first. This is the first sandwich that I came across. There's a couple that I'm going to talk about. This is a cheeseburger, which I like cheeseburger. This is at the Florida State Fair. They've got a cheeseburger. They said it's a classic, delicious cheeseburger served with a deep fried ball of ice cream on top. Yeah, and it's got all the condiments just like you'd have. You'd have a cheeseburger, and it's served with pickle, lettuce, tomato, onion, ketchup, mustard, and then they put a scoop of fried ice cream on top of it and put a bun on it. That sounds absolutely horrible to me.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
It's just disgusting.
Would you try that one?
I would
Probably
not. No.
No.
Yeah. Then there's several of them here I'm skipping. They have like fried salsa. They have some that just sound weird or look weird. Like they have a hot beef sundae or a pulled pork parfait. Basically, it's just the meal in a parfait cup to make it look like ice cream, but it's like, mashed potatoes and
Right.
beef. And so I was like, nah. But this one in Kansas. So if you're in Kansas, you want to go to the Kansas State Fair this year, you can try this one. It's a popsicle. I like popsicles. I loved popsicles as a kid. I like them as an adult. Hot day, get you a nice popsicle. This is a pickle-flavored popsicle. Again, with the pickle. I don't get it. I don't understand why you would want this. It says the Kansas State Fair decided to make the most original flavor of popsicle ever imagined, a pickle-flavored popsicle. With the amount of sodium in this one, I'm really hesitant to consider if it's a refreshing snack. It's made from pickle brine that's frozen into sort of a Mr. Freeze style snack.
Just think when that starts melting and you're drinking the juice from it.
So basically it's just frozen pickle juice. I'd rather drink the half empty glasses at a giant party than to eat that pickle popsicle.
That's gross.
Basically, that is just the leftover. Yeah, the leftover pickle juice from those bags of the giant pickles, the big dills or whatever. You just put the leftover juice in a pot.
Now, the next one I wrote down, they had Elvis on a stick. So I'm like, all right, it's got to be some kind of banana something. Elvis was known for peanut butter and banana, fried peanut butter banana sandwiches. It's kind of that way. It says this is at the Wisconsin State Fair. Elvis on a stick. It's a battered deep fried banana stuffed with a peanut butter cup.
Doesn't sound bad so far.
Then they also put bacon around it. See, I don't want to eat that.
I would try this one too.
I would try it.
I love that combination. And then you put bacon on it? Of course, I'm going to have to try it at that point.
I would taste that.
I can't do it.
I don't know why Wisconsin's appropriating Elvis, though.
I don't know. And then for the last one that I wrote down here, this was in Alabama, the Alabama State Fair. They have a hamburger. The picture they have is actually like a double cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup. But the bun are 2 Krispy Kreme donuts because why not? Let's slap a donut on each side of that puppy and slobber that thing down.
I would have to taste that one as well.
I can't.
This
it's
to me
gross.
actually looks worse than the ice cream burger.
I don't know.
I think this looks better than the ice cream. But
It does not to me. I don't know if it's the combination of the donuts, like on either end of it, but this one to me just seems worse than the other one.
Okay, so I thought what we do is out of all the ones we just talked about, is what one would you eat? You have to eat the whole thing, and what one would you definitely say that's a hard pass? Do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I've got my 2.
Go ahead.
Right away. The one I would try would be the spaghetti and meatball balls.
Yeah.
And the one I would not try would be the caviar Twinkie.
Mike?
I would take the peanut butter, the Elvis on a stick.
Oh, yeah, that was...
I would take that one, and then the chocolate-covered corn dog would be my second one that I would take. But the one I would not want, I also thought the caviar Twinkie is a good choice, but I'm actually going to go with the fried butter. I don't think I'd want just the stick of butter.
It'll make the Elvis slide down really good for
you. Make anything slide down, apparently.
So what one did you take?
I'm going to go with the Elvis on a stick as the one I would.
And the one you took was
the spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, the spaghetti and meatballs. All right. Well, since I was thinking spaghetti and meatballs, but I'll do something a little different. If I could probably eat, even though it's kind of disgusting, I could probably eat the Krispy Kreme hamburger if I had to. I wouldn't want ketchup or anything on it. But
yeah, it needs to be just the patties.
If it was just the patty and then 2 donuts, I could choke that down and be okay. The one I am not eating is the fried scorpions.
That was my second choice.
I can't do it.
Yeah, that would have been right up there.
The caviar, I wouldn't like it, but I figured I could choke that one down. The rest of these, as much as I hate pickles, that's fine. The fried scorpion, I'm out.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one, but I'll stick with my...
I don't think I could do fried scorpion. I just don't think I could do it. It'd be tough. And maybe it's delicious. I could be missing out.
Doubtful.
It's like lobster on a stick.
All right.
Land lobster.
That'll kill you.
Yeah.
Well, one more quick story here about food. We're going to go down to New Zealand. A couple down there have a Guinness World Record size potato. Maybe. We're not sure. We'll find out. It says here, they believe they had dug up the world's largest potato in their garden at their small farm near Hamilton, New Zealand. So they submitted it to Guinness, as long as it said with a little sample, so Guinness could run it and check the DNA, as pictures and a video of all of it, and it's a big, grotesque looking item.
And the guys at Guinness made a giant French fries out of them.
Yeah, but Guinness came back and said, well, unfortunately, you do not have the world's largest potato. What you have instead, they said, is it's a tuber of a gourd, a gourd tuber. It's I guess it's a kind of a gourd. So it's close. It's related.
Sounds like
somewhat.
a southern name. I'm Gourd Tuber.
I'm gourd tuber.
You tuber.
Says the New Zealand couple believed they had dug up the world's largest potato in the garden and of their small farm near Hamilton.
I like in the story too. It shows how they found it. It said Colin, who first hit the tuber with a hoe last August. Here's my thought on that. So he's out there, right? He hits it with his hoe. Ah, you stupid hoe!
That's right. Perfect. His wife says, "What?"
That sounds like a song. Yeah.
Oh, I love this song.
Said it sure looked. Yeah, it says here. So when he was gardening with his wife Donna, and she said it sure looked and tasted like a potato. But
she tasted out of the ground. Just
I don't know. He said they never tasted a gourd tuber. So says, what can you say? We can't say we believe you, but we can't say we don't believe you because we gave them the DNA and stuff. After months of submitting photos, paperwork, the couple got the bad news from Guinness in an email last week. Dear Colin, the email begins going on to say, sadly, the specimen is not a potato and is in fact the tuber of a type of gourd. For this reason, we do unfortunately have to disqualify the application. So the couple named their find Doug, which I take personal offense to. Which they took the
We're going to change your name to Tuber.
Says they took the spelling D-U-G after the way it was unearthed. Very original. The tuber became somewhat of a local celebrity.
Oh.
I was asked for my autograph, and I gave it, and they said, oh, we thought you were the giant potato. I said, no, it's just me.
You think if the tuber sees its shadow, maybe it'll be like the fall thing. It'll determine whether we're going to continue with summer or go into winter.
Said here the couple began posting photos of it on Facebook with a hat and even built a cart so they could tow it around town. An official from the local farming store put Doug at 7.8 kilograms, which is around 17 pounds. Says that's equal to a couple of sacks of regular potatoes. Or one small dog.
That's random.
Yeah, it's like we're comparing it to potatoes. What a small dog.
Or a toddler.
Or half of a big dog. Oh, man. The existing Guinness record will stand with a 2011 monster from Britain that weighed just under 5 kilograms. So it says Craig remains a big believer in Doug, who is still in the freezer. Which I don't get because they said they tasted it and it didn't taste like a potato. So I don't know how he's still in the freezer, but he is.
I like the next line.
Yeah.
They had to buy him a chest freezer just for him.
Yeah. It says Doug on the side of it.
He said, I say g'day to him.
G'day.
Every time I pull out some sausages. Okay.
G'day.
G'day, Doug. Just grabbing my sausage. He's a cool character, Craig said. Whenever the grandchildren come around, they say, can we see Doug? He's the world's biggest not a potato.
He's a tuber.
Hey, Craig, where's your wife? Doug said we had to get rid of her. I got a picture, they're into this potato or gourd or whatever a little too much. They're dressing it up.
Yeah.
They've named him. They talked to him.
I think they should give Doug a show.
He might have one. He's probably got his own podcast. Probably more people listening to him than us.
Probably. Oh, we
I'm
love
Doug
him.
the podcaster.
Craig and Doug.
Craig and Doug, the tuber gourd. Tune in to hear what tuber gourd says today.
Totally tubular.
All right. Well,
Say good day to Doug.
Say good day. Come over and grab your sausage and say good day to Doug. Jeez. All right, the show has gone off the rails. All right, let's move on.
All right.
So, Greg, you brought this to my attention. I don't know if you want to run with some of this. I got some thoughts. I got another companion article kind of talking about the same thing. You had some, you're thinking about investing in some renewable energy, and you had some interesting topic here.
Where did my article go here?
So it's not clean coal because that's not green enough. It's not nuclear.
No,
it's not wind.
No.
Nope.
None
When
of those
you
run
things.
a cricket ranch, you have to think of innovative ways to power it.
Yeah. Solar. You must be doing solar.
Nope, not solar
Maybe
either.
water. You building some turbines by a big waterfall. That can be destructive to the environment, though.
Well, yeah, all those things have their drawbacks to them. No, this one is rocks.
Rocks?
Rocks.
Okay.
You ever thought about rocks for energy?
Not unless I was going to throw it at something, but no.
Yeah. Well, I saw this article about this, and it tweaked my interest because the picture shows this giant crane like you see working on a building.
Yep.
And I saw it says gravity could solve renewable energy's biggest problem. And I was like, well, I wonder what the crane has to do with it. So as I started reading, it seems that they lower these 30-ton rocks from I forget how many it said. It was a 70-meter crane.
So it's about 230 feet.
Yeah, so it's dropping them 35-ton bricks.
That's a big brick.
They drop them from the arms of this crane, which generates energy as they fall, and they capture that
I'd
energy.
like to live next to that energy source. Boom, boom, boom.
Who's dropping
Your
the
house is shaking.
35-ton rocks?
Plates are falling off and breaking.
So and then they're feeding the grid with this, and when power consumption is low, they use the grid to raise the rocks back up.
So all the energy they generated dropping them down, they use to pull them right back up.
But they're doing it when energy's low. But they were gonna, and that's what their original plan was to, they're using these cranes. But people were like, well, the crane's too tall. We can't have that.
Well, because a bird might fly.
Yeah, because that's the only problem with the thing. It's too tall of a crane.
Yeah, so they changed it then. They put it into a 20-story building, and they're on like these trolley systems, and the rocks throughout it monitors when energy is peaking and lowering, and it raises and lowers these rocks to generate the energy.
See, they need to push this out there more, because I have not heard of this. I think they need to do a big push on social media. They need to do something to get the kids involved.
Yeah.
I think you could hire Snoop Dogg. It's like, hey, what's your latest renewable energy? Dropping some big rocks. Dropping some big rocks. Okay, that was really bad.
That was bad.
That's all I got.
They could go peddle it to TikTok.
Hey,
stars.
I'm no Doug
They
the
could.
Tuber Gourd.
Well, I know.
All right,
Yeah.
so no, he's a celebrity.
Well,
I have a
yeah.
lot of pressure on me now.
Yeah, you share the name.
Maybe I'll put a hat on. You guys can pull me around in a
I'm not grabbing any sausage.
Don't put me in the
And
freezer
saying,
either.
G'day.
G'day. G'day, Doug.
I will acknowledge you with a good day.
I don't want you to pull any sausage around me either.
Okay. As long as we're on the same page.
Pull me around town in the cart, though, with a hat. Take pictures of me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll become a local celebrity.
So once they move the rocks into the 20-story modular buildings, they call those Energy Vault Resiliency Centers. That sounds very futuristic, doesn't it? And they'll be out in like the desert, or they'll be in different places, but just dropping their rocks all day long. It's like, oh, there's some more energy.
Dropping my rocks.
So
What? I found
I'm going to build a car that would be powered on that principle.
Yeah,
It'll have
really
little
good.
rocks in the engine compartment,
Boom.
and they'll
It'll
just
be hard to
falling.
drive around with a 200-foot tower on the front end of the
Well,
car.
it'll be a small
Back end.
version for a car. You just
not
have
gonna
these,
go very far.
They'll be like bowling balls or something that are falling inside the back. Boy, your motor's really loud. Clank, 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 clank.
Instead of the internal combustion engine.
The road's just destroyed after, because it's just slamming into the ground.
Well, that's where the craters come from, probably, in the roads now.
Probably is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
potholes.
Yeah, it's not the internal combustion engine. It's the internal tumbling engine.
Yes, tumble the rocks.
Wow.
I don't know. When I saw that, I thought, I've heard of different energy sources. You got wind, you got solar, rocks.
Well, I found a companion, because I was looking for that story, because I was trying to think what you were talking about, and I found one. This is out of the UK, over in England. It says, gravity-based batteries try to beat their chemical cousins with winches, weights, and mine shafts. And it's the same principle. It says here, alongside the chilly steel gray water of the docks here stands what looks like a naked 4-story elevator, except in place of an elevator is a green 50-ton iron weight suspended with steel cables. Same thing. They bring the 50-ton weight up, and they let it down, and when they bring it up with the electric motors, and when it goes down, the motors reverse and become generators that push the energy back out. But
Out into the grid.
But my thing is, how much energy does it take to hoist a 50-ton weight up a 4-story building?
And wait till those steel cables break.
Yeah, so that was the first thing I had. It says gravity-based batteries try to beat their... Can you imagine? I think it's bad if I get a flashlight that's got 4D batteries. What's your 50-ton weight? It's a booger to finish.
It's a big battery.
All right, can we get some light? Yeah. Wham! The whole ground shake. You get a blast of light for about 3 seconds, then it dies out. Whatever. I gotta wait for the 50-ton weight to get back to the top of the tower, and then we'll have some light again. You know, when I was a kid, we've talked about this before, I thought the future was going to look like the Jetsons. It's looking like the Flintstones more and more. We're using rocks.
Yeah. Sun.
The car's going to be powered by foot power.
Well, basically, when you can't buy gas anymore, that's when
Yes.
you're going to have to resort to that.
I'm going to have an elephant outside to give it a shower, going to suck up water and just squirt me in the head when I'm in the bathroom. Have a little clamshell that I put a bee in and a shave.
I think they should power cars with methane. I mean, you sit in the seat anyways.
You do.
Just put a little screen in the seat.
Just buy a cow. Apparently,
You have your problems. You just pass your gas right in there. You're powering your car.
Taco Bell stock would go way up.
That's right. You could eat a bag of crickets probably and fire it up.
Oh.
The meth-mobile. Oh,
The toot and scoot.
that's a different type of vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes, they have those.
The methane mobile.
Oh my gosh! So,
All the seats would have the screens in them, though.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you got the kid in the back. It's like, okay, you got to help power the car.
Yep.
Do your business.
I saw in that same article a little bit later down, it says it plans to scale up to 500-ton weights.
That's some heavy
We're
weights.
at, 50 now? They're going to go all the way up to 500?
How that is going to take a ton of energy to get that weight up. You can't possibly generate.
Wow.
I mean, at best, that's got to be a push, right? I mean, it's got to be.
And then, on an unrelated note, earthquakes have risen exponentially.
Yeah. Because we keep
They thought
dropping these.
fracking was bad for the ground faults. Let's start dropping 500-ton weights onto the ground. Just bam, bam, bam. Giant rocks, giant bricks.
I mean, I guess this is supposed to work along the principles of hydroelectric. I guess they move water to the top when energy usage is down, and then let it run through when energy usage is up, and that powers the group. So
I understand that. I just think that they're wasting the same, at least the same amount of energy
Well,
to produce this energy.
So I was actually trying to read through there to see how much it actually used to reset itself.
Yeah.
Because it says it generates 250
Yeah, I saw
kilowatts of power back to the grid, but they don't say what's the cost.
Yeah,
right?
I never saw
Right.
that either.
well,
So
they got,
it's not good if they're
they
not going
got
to tell you
people
that.
pushing them back up. It's a big group of people, though. It's kind of like the
Great.
Egyptians.
Yeah, I'm up there with pulling the sled like.
And you slip and fall, and the rock comes
yeah.
down on you.
It's almost like these were just made for a science fair, and somebody's like, hey, you know what? I got an idea. Let's just put, 50 tons. Let's just scale it up a
This
little
sounded
bit.
like it was a joke.
Well,
Yeah.
What are we going to do
that's-
for
yeah, that's-
renewable energy? What if we drop big rocks? That's great. I'm joking. No, it can work. No, it can't.
Give me $500 million. I'll show you. Well, we watched that little animation on the one, and it had the rocks moving along inside the building at different times, and I don't know, it's very weird.
Well, yeah, according to the animation, it works great. Powers the whole city. It's wonderful. If we all just lived in the metaverse, that would work wonderful.
Oh, this would be perfect in the metaverse.
In the real world, not so much.
You could have meta rocks.
Oh, jeez, it's the stupidest thing in the world.
You get those from the meth van, by the way.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for Greg's meth van.
Methane.
Methmobile.
Methane van. Or mobile.
Coming to a city near you. Sort of like the ice cream man, but a little different.
Boy, the air pollution would get really bad from those.
Yes, it would. See, then it's a push on the green energy because you
Yeah. You got.
put methane back into the air. All right. Well, I got nothing else.
Nope,
I don't know.
I'm
You got
good.
Anything else?
Wow.
Very weird episode.
It was very weird. So, Hey, thank you all for tuning in. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star rating. Give us a review. Hit the share button out there.
Stop in and say good day.
Stop in and say good day. Pop your head in and say good day. Good day, Doug. And we appreciate everybody that's out there listening to us. Hope you relax. Have a great week. Try not to get too upset or offended about things. And hopefully you're tuning in 7 days. Until then, see ya.
Later.
Peace.
Well, that wraps up another episode. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.